Hey everybody, so this is going to be the first video of the LangGangDev series. Um, this is just an experiment where I'm going to just record myself while I do work and talk about what I'm doing and upload it to the YouTubes and the Instagrams and whatnots, and just see if there's any interest, if anyone gives a shit. So, what am I doing right now? Well, I'm doing planning. I'm creating tasks. I've been working with ChatGPT for a while, coming up with tasks. These are all the tasks leading us to beta, and I'm going and I'm copying, press the button copying, and then I'll go here, I'll add item, I go boom, and then I grab the title, I go boom, check this so that it keeps creating, and I go boom. But I've already created this one, so I'm not going to create it a second time. So I'm not going to go through the ones I've created, because these ones, you just read them yourself. You can see they're pretty sort of high level, you might say. Actually, not exactly high level, but they're low priority. They're way out in the future, because I'm working backwards, right? Like, I started from the end of my chat with ChatGPT, and I'm going backwards in time, so I'm going to get closer and closer to the more and more important stuff. It's going to come at the end rather than at the beginning. So with that said, the last thing that I did was research market benchmarks, number 291. So I gotta find that. Research market benchmarks. There we are. Research market benchmarks. We're in CFO tasks. So I'm gonna copy assist in building financial model. Support analytics integration, getting into DevOps tasks. Optimize build and test environments. Ensure GDPR and privacy compliance. Yeah, some of these are very, like, a lot of these are like, these tasks are really, they're epics. Implement security best practices. Like I said, epics. But you gotta start somewhere, right? You gotta group stuff. I like to go top down. So, like with ChatGPT, we started by coming up with high-level feature lists. describing them. Did that back on one get created? Yeah, it did. Not much important. It's just the freaking song is gonna get me. Listening to a Deadmau5 mix. Deadmau5 is pretty good music to work to for the usually. It's usually not as distracting as this. But anyway, we started with the high-level feature list. Then I said, okay, for beta, what needs to get done? And we kind of came up with like 5 or 6 really like super epics. And each of those spat out like number of user stories, like maybe 5 or 6 user stories. And then each of those spat out maybe 6 or so tasks. And then there's additional tasks that were created by just asking about, well, we have all these tasks for engineers. We've got tasks for my CIO. But what are the tasks that need to be done by me, acting as the CEO, the CFO, the CTO, the CMO? I am the C-suite. Whole bang shebang of it. And what did I just do? Set up support channels, was it the last one? No, beta support process. Yeah, set up support channels. Ensure accessibility compliance. Finalize terms. Service and privacy policy. And I gotta be the legal as well. Implement error monitoring. Small company, you know. At this point in time, upload testing. At this point in time, there's just me and 5 engineers. Kirsty, CIO. Jin Young, head of the Korean language and really the teacher viewpoint resource. got to the engineering tasks yet. They're generally pretty large ones as well. There's very few tasks that are broken down into something that it's like, okay, this is like, I'm gonna do this today. Most of the tasks really gotta start with doing planning. But that's where the workings are getting distributed, you know? Assign someone the task, and the first step of the task is going to be, okay, how about you break these down into subtasks? Each task is going to have, you know, a dozen maybe subtasks. And subtasks don't even have to be subtasks can just be done in line in the ticket. Bam. Subtask 1, subtask 2, you know, etc. I really like working with GitHub. This is test for Josh. It might not be me. I think I'm getting a cold. Got the sniffles. See, it really slows you down, these little things like needing to edit out that task for Josh. That's why a lot of times with ChatGPT, like I'll re-go over the same content asking, hey, refine it like this, change it like this. But I am able to just keep one hand on my, I don't use a mouse exactly. I'll call it a mouse, but it's not. It's a Logitech trackball. It's very good. I have two of them. That one. What's the last one I did? Create beta launch technical roadmap. And one of them that is white colored. Everything says tasks, and then I have a few that just don't, and that bothers me. Really, none of them should say task. I regret that, but I'm not going to change all of them. But I will change these. The difference is just that these are task sized, you know, tasks. Now there's milestones can be associated with it. You can give an issue of priority, size, an estimate, start date, and an end date, which you could interpret as a due date, I suppose. It could be in multiple projects. Like other people can make projects to manage their own tickets. Like sub teams can have projects, but I can just have one Kanban for all of LangGang. Which for me makes sense. At least at this point of the company. I've got as many people in the company as I have fingers, more or less. Alright, back to creating. We just finalized tech stack documentation. See, it's slowing me down even more now. Flow again. I was cruising for a while until I got all these tasks for Josh ones in my way. Alright, what's your user stories? There's a lot of user stories, so I think this is a good point to take a break, actually. So I'm going to pause it here. This will be the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, then good for you. Watch the next one. LangGang.